I had a really interesting day today and I got to work with two very successful Irish YouTubers, Thomas Arnold and Kevin Owens. Very successful Irish YouTubers in their own right, but I had the opportunity I've been talking to them quite a lot on phone and emails and texts over the last few months, but I didn't know them before lockdown, but got to know them during lockdown. And I had the opportunity to invite them to the Hendricks in Smithfield to do a kind of a quick walk around video tour of the hotel, have a look at some of the artwork, and also talk to the hotel manager in terms of how hotels and how the hotel industry is dealing with coming out of lockdown. I think it's a very interesting video. A lot of work has gone into this today, so please give it up a thumbs up for the lads for helping me out, and please subscribe to the channel, and hopefully maybe be able to do some more of these type of videos. Stefan, first of all, thank you very much for welcoming us into your hotel today. Obviously, we had a quick look around here before we actually got a chance to talk to you. And what actually stands out so much is actually the artwork, and it's a very beautiful hotel. But what was the inspiration behind the design of the actual hotel?
Sure. So I suppose the owners, developers, they have been developing buildings for quite some time there. During the previous years, they've traveled to New York quite a bit, to London also. Recently stayed in places a bit similar to this, an affordable, quality, I suppose, urban type of boutique hotel, and that's exactly what they were trying to obviously remake here also. It's not something that you see in Dublin. It's quite unique with regards to the things that we offer here. It's different. There's no chains involved here. It's not stuffy. It's not formal, but it's hip. It's easygoing. It's a home away from people if they wanted to, and that's something I think that people are looking for more and more. It's a unique experience that we offer here, you know.
Before I actually came here, I had a quick look at the website, and I noticed, you may be able to tell me a little bit about it, or we may not, but I noticed that the hotel got a lead design award for sustainability and for innovations in sustainability and design. Would you be able to kind of talk us through some of those designs? Because I know some of people who might follow me from the commercial side of things will definitely be interested in regards to that element of it. Certainly. I think what I actually read was that was the first hotel in the Ireland, or maybe it's perhaps the only hotel in Ireland to actually get that award from LEED. So that's obviously something that the owners in the hotel are very proud of.
Yeah, 100%. They had taken it on board there from the outset. It's massive part to be able to get a certification from design stage. So everything is taken care of. Everything's been taken on board. So it goes from rainwater harvesting in our courtyard for our bathrooms to solar panels on the roof. There's a certain amount of water coming out of our shower heads to still adhere to the certifications rules. I mean, everything is part of it. Sensors, lighting, you'll see it a bit later on the floors as well. I mean, it's a great thing. The team here are delighted that we've a certification this way. Sense of pride as well, I think, for everybody involved. For us ourselves on a daily basis, then we have to just make sure that we do our part also. So it goes to the removal of all single-use plastics and all these things, I suppose, for ourselves on a daily basis to take care of. For guests, it being a hotel and the only hotel in Ireland at the moment, you're right in saying that though. It's great for them to know that they can come over and stay with us, not having to pay the price for being sustainable and environmentally friendly, but they can still have their power shower. They can still sit down and work away and relax and do whatever it is that they would be doing in any other hotel, but knowing that they're helping the environment that small bit also, you know.
So that's probably an important point for anyone who's interested in kind of hotel development or even the LEED and sustainability side of it, that there's obviously probably upfront costs in terms of kind of delivering that from a development point of view, but there's actually savings when you're in operation, and there's actually those savings can be passed on to your guests here in terms of an actual reduced rate, or not a reduced rate, but you don't have the LEED and the sustainability doesn't actually impact the price that you actually charge your
absolutely,
guests.
Absolutely. And I think for a lifestyle point of view as well, more and more people will be looking for places that are sustainable and that are making an effort in changing the energy output everywhere, and the same goes for companies. This is something that will be taken more and more on board by hotels and other places around as well. So it's good to know that we're the very first ones there. We're, in essence, leaders at the front there. So the developers have done an amazing job when it comes to this. Okay.
obviously have a bit of history here in regards to the Jameson, obviously very close, just across the road. I presume actually quite a lot of your guests, actually that's one of their first spots that they actually hit.
The tourists that come over, they do want a bit of the Jameson experience as well, right? So that's exactly what we're doing here. Like these guys, they hand that over. And Jameson's very good with their relationships also, like for all the places around in the area. Like they'll give you these barrels to go around and meet up with you. They're very, very involved with the community and the businesses around, you know. And great place to be partnering up with, really are.
It even shows you how to walk to it, does it?
Yeah, it does. Well, if you wouldn't know how to find the square to go
or how
over,
to find your way back is more
exactly
important. We've had a walk around the hotel now, and we've seen that there's a few things within the hotel that wouldn't have been there before in terms of hand sanitizer, signage around the lifts, and all sorts of other things that are there in the hotel. But perhaps you might explain, as we're coming out of lockdown, what kind of changes are guests likely to expect when they come into a hotel?
Yeah, so I suppose for people arriving, there is a difference there, that the focus is now more and more on keeping everybody safe, and the social distancing part is obviously something that everybody is adhering to at the moment. So those are probably the massive changes there. There's procedures put in place with regards to cleaning. There's procedures put in place with regards to keeping each other safe. Information is provided to the guests on a pre-stay letter. Information is provided on check-in also. There's maybe a number of services that are not being provided at the moment, such as turn down service or cleaning your rooms during a stay, which is something that I think people will have to expect for the foreseeable future. Obviously the feedback we've been receiving so far is that everybody understands it, you know. You'll find that we're asking people to provide us with contact details if they're coming in for a coffee, just to be contacted in case of a suspected COVID case. It's just making sure that everybody follows the right steps to make sure that we minimize the danger of anybody getting it, you know.
I think I read a McKinsey report, and there's a few things that I took out of that report, and one of the main things that I kind of took out of it was that the industries that are going to be hit hardest in terms of the hotels are the kind of business travel, because businesses are going to cut back a little bit, but hotels that are catering more for the tourist industry should hopefully bounce back a little bit quicker because stuff is actually happening. But another point that came out of it was that they're recommending, especially in the short term, that they allow about 72 hours between guest stays within different rooms. Is that something that you've had to consider here or address here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we're adhering to at the moment. It is easier now because it isn't too busy in hotels anywhere around Dublin. So what we find is we allocate rooms on our 5th floor, the top floor, the day after. We allocate it to the 4th floor and the 3rd floor after, and then we just repeat the cycle again, which is something that works for us now. This is something that we might have to revise again afterwards. You'll have to go with whatever the safest ways of doing business are. You know, you have to also follow the regulations and advice from Fáilte Ireland and any of the other governing bodies also, you know. So we just go with whatever these guys will tell us to do. It's the right thing to do, I suppose.
You mentioned when you were kind of walking around that some of the changes that will impact in terms of the guest stay, or what they'll notice different in the room, is that there won't be as much stuff for them to actually touch. So there will be a lack of magazines and stuff that they'll actually touch and stay there will be taken away. Also things like remote controls will obviously have to be cleansed down all the time, constantly after people stay. But I've kind of noticed, this is kind of might be a little bit of a strange one or an idea, but I've noticed like lots of ads coming up on my social media in regards to these little kind of keys. They're like little bits of metal that you can hook onto your handle, or you can push the door, or would that be kind of something that the hotels would kind of think about, so there's less touching going on, or even branded as actually a hotel, and let them keep it as a keep?
Absolutely. So with these situations come innovative solutions, you know, and you'd have to be open for anything that is working, and you know, you could look into all kinds of things if there's a demand for it, for sure. I mean, if you as a company now would say no to certain IDs or TODs, it's obviously not the right way of doing your business, you know. So yeah, absolutely. If something comes in front of us and we think it's a viable solution, we'd be more than willing to have a go with it.
So we've been wandering around the hotel for a while, and it's hard not to notice all the actual art. But have you got a favourite piece of art you wouldn't mind actually showing us now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be delighted to show you guys there now. I mean, there's many beautiful pieces there. International artists, Irish artists as well, many local street artists. You'll see their work also in murals in town, even in the Smithfield area themselves. But yeah, no, I'd be delighted to show you there now if I could. Yeah, no problem.
And I suppose all the art that you have around the hotel leads to a very kind of colourful, one website, but also very colourful social media.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
And,
Absolutely.
It kind of, I suppose, it promotes the hotel because people want to take a photograph themselves and tag the hotel too.
Yeah.
So it's a great kind of marketing concept.
Yeah, 100%. I think they got that right from the outset. You know, most places now, if they are opening, they're looking for Instagrammable places, right? And you see that in some other hotels that have opened up since. I mean, there's so much here, and there's different, you know, there's different artworks for different people. I suppose everybody will find they have their favorite piece they want to just take a picture with, you know. It works. I mean, the feedback received from it is just great.
So I suppose just to kind of finish off, one of the kind of things probably some people are wondering about is in regards to grabbing a food here at the hotel or grabbing a drink at the hotel. Maybe you might kind of explain kind of what's behind in terms of the opening up, and is it possible to actually have a drink here or grab some food here?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So as the government has announced, phase 3 is what we're in at the moment, so technically pubs aren't allowed to open up just yet, which means if you want to go for a drink, you're not allowed to be served. The rules are if you were to have a substantial meal with a drink, it is fine. So the substantial meal would be to the value of €9 or higher, right?
Okay.
So what we've done so far is if any of our in-house guests want to order in a bit of food, we don't have a kitchen here. They're more than welcome to sit down in the lobby and have a drink with it. Otherwise, for non-residents at this very moment, unfortunately, we'd have to respectfully decline service, which is not allowed yet. It's for the health and the safety of the guests and
yeah, okay.
Like,
so I suppose that's probably something people maybe, or I didn't initially think about when we were kind of stepping in here, because the kitchen isn't there, that you can't actually use this as an operating bar. So obviously that kind of, you explaining that to me kind of helps me out why this actually isn't serving as a bar, because I think I remember when seeing it on social media when the bar first opened just over a year ago, or when the actual Hendrick's opened just over a year ago, that one of the main kind of features of the social media was the cocktails and stuff that was being put on here. So people can look forward to those cocktails coming back in phase 4 then. Yeah.
Exactly, that's for now, that's from the 10th of August. We'll have to obviously wait and see when it gets a bit closer to the date what the announcements will be though, but for the 10th of August we'd be delighted to invite everybody to come over for a nice drink or a coffee during the day if you will. I mean, it's a great area to be sitting down and just enjoying a drink before you go out into town or before you have your dinner reservation somewhere else. You know, you come back, you have your nightcap, you go up to your room, you get your well-deserved sleep. That's what the bar is for, you know. So the guys are all raring to go, they just have to wait a bit longer.
Yeah. And then one thing, I actually read an article about a hotel in Berlin.
Yeah.
They had converted some of their rooms to, because everyone was now working at home, they'd actually converted some of their rooms to small serviced offices for people to rent them, because they weren't happy or they didn't have space to work at home.
Sure.
Is that something you've thought about here at all?
So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's actually a great idea. I do believe though that any company would have to tailor its service to the facilities available. And I suppose the bedrooms, while they're amazing, they're really designed for people to rest in. There's a high quality mattress there, there's a power shower, there's Chromecast options for people to sit down and relax after a long day's work. So if there were to ever be a client or company that says what are the options, I'd be delighted to explore it. But I do think though that for people working, again, the communal area, the lobby here is probably a better option for them. There's power outlets everywhere. There's the Wi-Fi you could avail of while having a nice coffee or a quality drink and a bit of background music. That's maybe something that people would be looking to do.
Because I actually think I've seen one or two kind of small restaurants or coffee shops actually who may not be able to kind of use or may not be able to use a lot of their space for actual restaurants during the daytime. They're actually thinking about providing some space actually for kind of co-working space where you kind of come in and you agree a certain price per week, but you also get your coffee and your croissant as part of that, and it kind of gets people out of their house. Maybe they're not kind of in a good, they may not have the facilities to actually be able to concentrate and actually work, and actually this works, because like this actually looks like plenty of nice co-working spaces in terms of
sure.
so it definitely is something that it's an option.
Absolutely. The place here is designed with that in mind. So you'll see, I suppose there was a novelty of working from home, but I also do think though at some point people are looking to get into a different environment. I mean, your world closes in a bit if you're working from home. It's very hard to switch off as well. You know, you're sitting in the evening time at home and you still have a bit of work to do. You might as well get going again. So there has to be a balance, and I do think though that an area like this would be a perfect solution for people. If you're in the neighborhood, instead of working at home, why don't you come in and sit down? You adhere to your social distancing and all that, but there's a perfect option for you to be working.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So as I kind of said at the very start of the video, this is a slightly different video for me. I have two people helping me today. I have Kevin and I have Thomas here. And I think Thomas is actually the YouTube pro here, so he's going to maybe fire a few questions out quickly.
Oh, boom. All right, okay. Stefan, we're going to do a quick fire round.
Sure.
You weren't ready for this, but get ready.
Okay, well I'm getting ready now. I'm also getting a bit nervous.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where did you start your hotel career?
Okay, right. So
in 30 seconds or less.
In 30 seconds or less. Okay, right. So I'm Dutch, right? It's my nationality there. So I would have studied hospitality management from a young age. I knew this is what I wanted to do, right? But it's probably more the romance of it all. If you're young, you think hotels, it's amazing and all that. But I suppose now you grow a bit more into it. I've worked for Tifco Hotels, which is an Irish company, hotel company there, for years as well. And then, I've landed here, so.
You dress very well. Where do you get your suits?
Where do I get my suits? It's Ted Baker, but, only on good days there. So I have to stick with budgets as well, So
beard oil or no beard oil?
No beard oil. No,
cool.
No, keeping it short is the way to go.
Yeah. Favorite football team?
There's only one team that matters. It's Ajax Amsterdam. Guys, I don't even know why you're asking me these questions.
What's your favorite bit about being a hotel manager?
I suppose working with people is a great thing, though. You work with people, different nationalities, different cultures, which is amazing. And then working towards something and taking pride in it, that's a great thing. That's a motivator. That was amazing. I think there's plenty of jobs here that you could do the exact same thing and achieve the same thing. But with people there, you meet everybody. That's the beauty of it. So and then if you're able to provide a service that exceeds expectations as well, I mean, that's great. Instant satisfaction, gratification, if you will. That works. So I think that's probably the biggest motivator.
And lastly, in your time working here in the hotel, is there any memories that stick out as particularly interesting or weird, or a cool guest that came? Or even something that was just meaningful to you, I guess.
Yeah, no, I suppose it's just like we're open for a year now, so especially the first few weeks though, it was very interesting to hear people's feedback, knowing that you're on the right way of doing the right thing, right? So, even hearing their feedback and talking to them is a great thing. And since then, obviously, we've grown and we've moved up and up in like TripAdvisor rankings. We take these things serious. So, I suppose an overall picture, the fact that whatever it is that we are doing, that we're doing it right, is a great thing to know.
Cool.
Makes sense.
What a legend.
Okay.
So I hope you actually enjoyed watching that video. I actually really enjoyed making it and working with everyone there today. Learned a lot about the hotel, really liked the artwork that was dotted around the hotel and within some of the rooms. It was great to work with the two lads in terms of shooting the video. They have loads of experience in terms of their YouTube. Even though they're young, they've got years of experience of actually shooting these videos. it was good to learn from them today. Give the video a thumbs up for their sake as well. And if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are a business owner or a business manager based in Dublin and you are running or a business that you feel that has some interesting property qualities to where you're based, perhaps you could reach out to me and see if we could do a similar video. And again, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe.